everybody, Randy here with Maureen. We just got done finishing up 2.1, so there's going to be a video explaining sort of the equipped, unequipped versions of this, but I'm going to kind of go over it real quick, just some tips and tricks. So this one was basically a glute and quad burner for sure, with a little bit of a kind of like low back burn just on stabilization alone. So it's basically just squatting both feet and then pistol squatting too. So a little bit of skill involved, a lot of balance. So definitely some work put in on the pistol squats. So if you're not proficient at it, you're going to spend a lot more time doing that. If you are, this is going to be sort of like, let's see how much you have in the tank consistency wise. So the first few rounds of reps of 2, 4, 6, 8 actually weren't that bad. It felt pretty easy to kind of cycle through those, whether you're doing pistol squats or step downs or pistol squats to a target, however you needed to scale that. But when it starts getting into the 10s, 12s, 14s, that's when it started getting pretty spicy. So I noticed early on when I was doing this that keeping my form as intact as possible was key, right? So as soon as I started letting my shoulders kind of come forward, or my head was pointed down, or I wasn't paying attention to proper squat techniques, that's when I started really feeling that burn in the low back. So the longer that you can stay consistent with proper form, I think not the easier it'll be, but the more fluid you can move through the movements, the less energy output you're putting in, and then just you're mitigating that X factor of it's hard to kind of keep pushing through when you're feeling pain in places you don't want to feel pain. So there's just a lot of quad blowout in this one too. So you want to kind of stabilize and mitigate that by just taking breaks when you need to. What I did was I just moved fluidly through the whole thing. I didn't try to race it. My heart rate never got above 125. So I kept it pretty low, pretty smooth through the whole thing. I wasn't trying to get a million reps in, just because I'm probably going to repeat this with the equipped RX. So I'm holding this water bottle here because for the unequipped version, we're actually introducing 2 gallons of water. So you have some sort of external load when you're doing this movement too. So there's only so many different workouts that we can put in that are just push-ups, sit-ups, and squats and stuff like that too. So there is an external load. Anybody can go to a gas station or someplace practicing social distancing and then picking up a couple of these. They're only about 8 pounds a piece, so you're not going to feel a ton of that external load, but anything's better than nothing. So the movements that we're using these with is what we call a squat clean and a gorilla row, right? So if you're not using a barbell, if you're not doing the squat clean with a barbell, there's going to be a squat clean with this gallon of water, very similar to a med ball clean if you know what that is. So we have all the movements already recorded, and then we're going to put those out. But I just wanted to give a couple of tips and tricks on this one. Is go steady through the whole movement. Make sure you're breathing properly. Once you start getting into the later rounds, start breaking it up into sets. So you're doing, if you're doing 16 reps of something, you do 2 sets of 10 and a set of 6. You get to the 18, you're doing 3 sets of 6, things like that to give yourself like a small break to look forward to kind of keep your heart rate low and then sort of kind of keep you on task, so you're not rushing through and trying to get all 18 reps done, and then now you're spending 15, 20 seconds trying to recover before you go into that next movement. The time crunch here, or I think the movement that's going to cause the most amount of time is obviously the pistol squats. Make sure you move through those well. Make sure that you're doing them properly, because the last thing you want to do is, it sucks doing a pistol squat. It sucks even more having to do another one because you didn't do it correctly. So, take your time, do it properly. That's basically it. There's no way out of that quad blowout that you're going to get here. So just settle in early and just deal with it. And and have fun with it. And if you guys do it and find some tips or tricks that you think work out really well, go ahead and share those. Otherwise, have fun with this one. Let me know what you think. All right, stay happy, stay healthy.